Do you feel like that's better?
Yeah, I think that's better. We had too much sky above us.
All right, so hi again, everybody. Welcome to the Knot House podcast. It's podcast number 25, and it is Monday, Memorial Day.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
I managed to get off work today, so we decided to do the podcast today.
Right?
Seems like a long time. Yet I have nothing to show.
Well, it's been 3 weeks since the pop-up. Took us kind of a week to get ourselves back together after the pop-up.
And then you left.
And then I went to Sarasota for a treat with Vera, Hohe, and Caitlin Hunter, which was absolutely fabulous. I'd never been on a retreat before. Wasn't quite what I expected, but the classes were fabulous. They really, really were. I learned some things about fitting, about sweaters. I took a design class. Matter of fact, it was Hohe's last.
Yeah.
Design
You're actually
class.
lucky that because you probably didn't know that when you signed up.
I did not know, because I signed up a year ago.
Yeah.
I did not know that. She was really emotional about it.
Now, why is she not doing it anymore?
You know, her boys are in their teens, early teens, I think. And for her to get anywhere, it's going to take her 8 hours, no matter where she goes, if not more.
Right.
And I think she just wants to be home. I think, she kind of said her teaching.
Did she say she's never going to do it anymore? Or she's just taking a break?
She didn't say never, but I felt like her teaching phase is over.
Okay.
She's been doing it hard for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
But Vera's not going to stop.
No, Vera's not going to stop. Caitlin has got a couple of retreat commitments through the end of the year. And then Caitlin next year, I think, is not going to teach. I think she's
Gonna take a break?
I think so. She is not a definite no like Hohe is.
Yeah.
Hohe's a definite no.
So you're not going to say whose class was your favorite?
No. No. They're all different. They're all different.
You said that...
Hohe's very technical.
Yeah, you said that.
And not that Caitlin's not technical, but Caitlin's a little more freeform than what Hohe is. Very disciplined with how she passed around her notebook, her design notebook, which was, since I had just finished the Elton, of course I flipped to the Elton, and read her notes. But her notes are very similar to the way she writes a pattern. Kind of like an outline. Left shoulder, right shoulder. Join shoulders together. So it's right shoulder, left shoulder, join shoulders together. So and that's how her head thinks, I think.
So what was Vera's class on?
Rounded yoke sweaters. Imagine that.
Oh, okay.
And in class, they did a very small rounded yoke sweater, like a doll size kind of.
Right.
And since I was working on a rounded yoke sweater,
right,
I looked at her and I said, do I need to do that? And she said, no, just do what you're doing. So, very nice, very nice. I think the one thing that Hohe is always, not that she's ever done anything to make me, but I feel like she's less approachable.
Well, you don't see her as much.
Maybe that's it.
I mean, you're not going to see her at Rhinebeck.
Right. Maybe that's it. But she wasn't that way at all.
Yeah.
She was very nice. And they all said it, but she went on to say anybody that wanted to design, that had taken this design class, all you have to do is write her. And she'll answer any question you want to know. Whether it be Ravelry, whether it be tech editors, whatever. And I know Caitlin feels this way. Vera did not voice it like Hohe did, But she said, you know, we're just people.
Yeah.
You guys put us on a pedestal, and we don't want to be there. So it was a really, Susan from A Good Yarn put it on, and she did an excellent job. Excellent job. 100 women is kind of hard to keep happy. Keep happy and flowing and eating and drinking and, you know.
Yeah.
So it was good.
The girls from Nomadic Knits was there.
One of the girls she was in all my design classes. She and I took the same classes. Very nice. I met, and I don't remember her name, but she owns Sew Steamboat in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, that had watched our podcast. The Soldanta sweater and the Elton sweater were the two sweaters that everybody had on. Even though down there were a lot of shawl knitters. You saw a lot of Odysseys. A lot of Odysseys.
Even though it's done in DK.
Even though it's done in DK. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what we got in the mail.
All right. First of all, we got a very nice thank you note from Jenny, and said that she had come home to a Christmas in May.
Did you send her a box of sweater yarn?
I had sent her a box, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it was just a very nice, said that she and Jill fell in love with our town, and that we won't
This was when they were here at the pop-up. So that was was that the first time they've come to the pop-up?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was the first time Jill had been to the shop. Jenny had been here before, but Jill had not.
Because didn't you guys do it over the phone or something one time? When you guys were getting her yarn or something?
Well, we've done it over the phone several times.
No, I mean like FaceTime and stuff.
When Jenny was here the first time, we were I was getting yarn for Jill then.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then you met them at Rhinebeck.
I thought they were at Vogue too.
Oh, they were. But
okay.
But you met them at Rhinebeck.
Okay.
At Indian Tango.
Right, I remember, yeah.
Okay. So then
she had on a sweater done in La Di Da DK.
She did. Mm-hmm. She did. So then we got another package in the mail from Arthella.
I know. I think it's funny that she did it to the Knot House podcast.
It said the Knot House podcast. So
did Arthella come to the pop-up? I don't remember seeing Arthella either.
I think Arthella was here.
Was she?
I'm not positive about that, because I will say that it all runs together.
It does.
But I want to say she was here on Saturday.
Okay.
I'm not positive of that though. But
I haven't seen these.
All right. So, thank you, Knot House Podcast.
Look how cute this is.
Isn't that cute? Show it.
See? It's just a little sweater. I wonder if she designed those. Well, yeah, it looks like she drew it out.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Clever.
And then that one's to Heather, and this one is to Kathy.
So I have to I'm really having a hard time with my eyes. I told you, I posted this thing of Mom's hat on Instagram, and I didn't even know I spelled it wrong because I can't see, and I have a problem. All right. So what does it say?
It says, can we all just knit along?
Oh, isn't that the truth? Very cute. Thank you, Arthella.
Thank you, Arthella.
Yep. Another pin for our bags. Oh, and this one's got two pins. Two
to hold it
on because it's a little bit bigger. Yep. So this is she's got an Etsy shop now? Yeah, she does. It's right here on the bottom.
Yep.
Yep. So what is it? It is
Harris Knits, which is what she is on Ravelry.
Harris Knits 247? I don't know.
24/7.
Can't see. 24/7. That's 247.
Right, or 24/7.
Or 24/7. Oh, 24/7. I get it.
Oh, God help us.
I have issues.
You do.
All right, so I'll link this down, the link to her pins. Again, I'll show you guys again. down in the links below. Very cute. I wonder if she has different colors.
I don't know.
We'll have to go check it out.
We will.
Okay.
All right. We had 2 questions on our last podcast, which was the podcast before the pop-up. I'm not counting our combined podcast
with Christina,
right,
Chelsea Yarns.
Right, the podcast before that,
okay,
which was before the pop-up. And we had 2 questions. One was, what was my favorite needles? And needles are personal preference, for sure. And did I like it? I think
it's funny. Nobody's going to ask me what my favorite needles are. Whatever I can find.
The one she's using now is flat in the middle.
Well, it doesn't matter. Because the stitch is done at the beginning where you're knitting. So it doesn't matter if it's flat back here on the back. It looks like somebody stepped on it.
Okay. So, and they ask about interchangeable needles. Now, I am not a fan of interchangeable needles. A lot of people think they're the greatest thing ever. But I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just not a fan of them.
Maybe that's because you own a yarn shop and you have unlimited access to needles.
Well, I do say the only difference between me and everybody else as far as not having the right size needle
is that you're 2 blocks away.
No, I have a key to the front door.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I've got a whole set of signatures, and I like the signature needle. I'm not crazy about the signature cord. Now, it's very pliable, but it doesn't slide. So I find myself, if I'm on a sweater, having to fight it to get it around all the time. So when we first opened, at that point in time, I was kind of like Addie's. But I figured that everybody that was an Addie person had Addies. So we got Hiya-Hias because they're about half the price of an Addie. And, you know, a Hiya-Hiya Sharp is probably my favorite. Now, I know it's not yours.
Well, I don't like sharps because
right.
I'm a pusher and I will poke a hole in my finger.
Well, I've got 2 calluses. But, so that's my answer to that question is you know.
But you always use metal.
I always use metal. I don't ever use wood.
Now, when you're teaching beginning knit, what do you tell people?
Well, when I teach beginning knit, we use Knitter's Pride Dreams wood.
Because they don't need it sliding off.
Well, they don't think they need it sliding off. They think a metal is slicker and it's going to slide off and they're going to lose their stitches and they're panicked about losing the stitches.
Yeah.
So if it's wood, and the Knitter's Pride has a nice point, and it's not as sticky as bamboo, slides a little bit better than that. I'm always surprised when I help somebody in beginning knit with and use their wood needle.
It feels different.
Yeah, but it's a nice needle.
Right. Okay. So what was the other?
So the other question was about color dominance. How do you decide which color is dominant when you're doing color work?
But isn't that a preference?
No.
Oh, see, I would totally think it's a preference.
It's not. It's whichever color you want to come forward.
That's what I'm saying. That's your preference.
Well, it's not really a preference. You know, you have a background color. Usually your design, you want to come forward. And I can show you that.
Because I didn't do it that way, right?
Right.
See, I'm glad I can help everybody with my knitting ignorance.
So you started this down here at the bottom and you were holding your yellow, your variegated dominant. Because you want it to come forward.
Okay.
So when you get up here, your variegated, you have got more of it.
Right.
And you've got one thin line of your navy blue.
It's not navy blue. That's purple.
Whatever color it is.
Okay.
Okay, you've got one thin line. And you can see right here how you can't see it.
Well, it just stands in the background.
Right.
It's not dominant.
It's not dominant.
So it was supposed to be dominant.
It was supposed to be dominant. You were supposed to change. And you always hold your dominant color.
And the pattern tells you to change?
No, it doesn't. You're supposed to know to do that. So
Well, I don't think that's fair, because if the pattern doesn't tell you, how are you supposed to know? The average person.
which is why we're talking about it.
Okay.
So, as you can see, my variegated, I held on the bottom. I held it dominant because you can see it. But up in here, I held the purple dominant, and you can see the lines.
But you can see the lines in mine too. I mean, I understand you can see it better on yours.
Well, if you've got one stitch that's doing a line,
Yeah.
it only makes sense you want that one stitch line to come forward. Is it wrong to do it the other way? No. I mean, if you didn't know, you wouldn't see this.
And say, oh my God, Heather
She did it wrong.
Did it wrong.
Right. But if you're asking me which one is supposed to be dominant,
It would be the outline.
it would be the outline. Normally, it's the color that you have the least of.
Okay. So, I'm just looking at stuff. Okay.
Okay? So like on the NAVELLI sweater,
Which we haven't talked about yet.
we haven't, but we can bring it up and you can see.
Well, you got to get it really close, Mom, because that pink and purple just looks like a blend.
She held the purple dominant. And then when she held it dominant the whole way.
But this was about equal amounts of purple and,
But there is some thin lines of the purple.
yeah.
And that's how you know she held it dominant, because they don't recede. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. So,
It helps here because this is the same yarn.
well, it doesn't.
And in yours, you had the same yarn too. Okay, I'm just saying this. I'm just giving myself some defense here.
Well, I didn't.
I don't think did I use the same yarn for this? Because this,
No. This is dyed in the wool.
I know this is dyed in the wool. Did I use 2 skeins of dyed in the wool for this?
Nope, just one.
No, what was my dark color?
It was Chasing Rabbits.
So it wasn't the same base.
Wasn't the same.
That's what I
base.
mean by the same yarn. It wasn't, I used a different base. So the dyed in the wool is a little bit heavier than the fingering Chasing Rabbits. So it has a little bit more bulk to it. And that's part of the reason you can't see the line. Okay.
Because here they look equal. Right?
Okay.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
And
I
you
agree
would-
with it. This part does look equal.
Right.
Okay. I don't know. It's an illusion to me.
Okay.
That's why I have you.
Well, that's why I'm trying to answer the question. And if somebody's new to color work, your background color is usually the one you hold in your right hand, and then what you're doing, the pattern of the color work, is usually what you hold as dominant. When you have 3 colors, you still have one that you hold in your right hand that is not dominant, and then you have the other 2 that kind of switch off being dominant if you've got 3 colors in one row.
Okay.
Okay? I hope that helps. It's the color you want to come forward, the one that you want to lift up off the fabric, is the one
The outline.
that is dominant, right? Is the best way I know how to explain it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right. So I told them that we would talk about it on the podcast, so I
Okay.
wanted
Well,
to.
thanks for asking the questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Now, what's next?
Well, Do we want to talk about this?
We can talk
Since
about
it's standing right here.
Yeah, we can.
So we had this at the pop-up. Carissa had knit it, and we sold a whole bunch of kits in this color. These 3 colors.
We did.
Yeah.
We've got another kit made up for it in grays, and not the warm colors, but the cool.
So see, can you guys see that? So this one would be really pretty too. You can use any colors you want, but we just kitted these up. This is Deco, Spicy Brown, and Blue Eyes of Steel. So I'm sure maybe that's what I should do. No, I don't want to do the color work, but I'm just thinking about what I'm going to do because I have so much time.
I know you do.
But what I really like about this is the sleeve.
I know.
It is very cool. Can you talk about how that's constructed, Mom?
I can. So when you're knitting this,
What is the name of this one again?
NAVELLI.
NAVELLI. Okay.
When you're knitting this, you've picked up the stitches on the body and you're knitting the sleeve and you change color, right? Here.
Right.
And you go ahead and you knit it and then
You join it underneath.
you join it from behind. So you could have shown more of the pink if you would have wanted to.
Right.
You do collars this way sometimes, where a folded brim on a hat, where you pick up the stitches
Right.
and fold it under and then keep going.
I just like how it feels too, because it's double thickness.
Mm-hmm.
It has some weight to it.
It's a very pretty sweater.
She did this pretty quickly too.
Yeah, it didn't take that long.
Done on fingering weight.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have the kits online for this? If you see this, or if you
I do believe I've got the kits online.
okay, if you saw it at the pop-up and you didn't grab it,
Or you can call me.
yeah, you can call us. This is Casual Friday. This is Red Rock, the red, and then I think this is Royal Highness. Your Royal Highness?
Yes.
No, it's Royal Highness, I think. So, yeah,
Okay.
very pretty. All right, so that's one thing that Carissa did. You want to talk about your Black Thorn?
Yes. I did finish Blackthorn. Now, I used the Yosalda Blend 1
All right, you got that in Edinburgh. A long
that I
time
got
ago.
in Edinburgh, but you could use Bishi Bush,
Yeah.
or you could use your Diamond Sock. You could probably use the BC Garn Melange.
What about the Spin Cycle?
You could use it as
What
well.
is it called?
Wilder
Wilder.
or Private Labels what.
Yeah.
And then I use Diamond Sock for the color work.
And that is such a flirt.
It is such a flirt. And here's another good example of why you would want to use the raspberry color as dominant, because the lines are fine.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did not use it as dominant, they would be hidden. You wouldn't see them.
Right, the gray would like suck it in.
Suck it in. Right. And it seems
Have we posted this one on Instagram yet?
You know, I don't think we have. Not finished.
Okay.
I think I posted one. It's got some really, this is Blackthorn by Lily Turner, and she is Wishbone Yarns out of South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
There is a cable in the cuff and in the bottom ribbing. Isn't that pretty? The detail, just, you know, there's not all that much color work in this, but the eyelet, and then the eyelets here, and there's eyelets up here. Just a little bit of detail that I really enjoy doing it.
What size needle did you use?
A 5, I believe.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think so. No, maybe not. I think that was a 3. That looks, I think it was a 3.
So you just did it as the pattern was written?
I did it exactly as the pattern
You didn't
was
add
written.
any length to it?
I did add length to it. I always add length.
Just a little bit? Where
Yeah.
did you add that? Did you add that?
Here.
Okay.
Now, my row gauge was different than her row gauge. Her row gauge was much longer than mine. And I find that my row gauge is usually shorter. So, I haven't worn this one yet. It might be a Rhinebeck sweater.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. So we might as well just keep trucking on.
All right. So this is also by Lily Turner, and it's a test
Let's get
knit.
up here.
She is going to release it on
I thought you said it's like June 1st or
June
something?
1st, right. And it's called TWEEDSIDE. Now, she did it in a tweedy yarn.
Yeah.
And of course, I did not. I'm using,
Here, you need to scooch in a little bit, Mom, because you're cut out.
I'm using the Bishi Boosh for the main color. And then this is all diamond sock.
I'm just looking at the colors to see if they look the same. They do. They look pretty much the
Yeah,
same.
I think they do.
Yeah. All right, what's the Bishi Boosh? The purple, right? The dark purple?
The dark purple.
So does it take a full skein of the other colors?
No.
No?
And for that matter, you could use scraps. Leftovers. If you
Okay.
had the colors that you wanted.
So it's fingering weight, though.
It is fingering weight.
Okay. Well, you're trucking right along.
Well,
You'd be further, but she
I
got
got-
sidetracked.
I got sidetracked.
All right, what'd you get sidetracked on?
Well, I had to do the Andrea MOWRY Shifty, what is it? Shifty,
I thought it's the shift along,
shift along.
right?
Yep.
The shift along hat. No, the shift along hat cow.
Right.
Right?
Knit along. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, it's my first time seeing it in person. It's pretty.
So I used diamond sock for the background, Her Majesty, and then I used dyed in the wool.
Nope, that's Royal Highness.
It is Royal Highness.
Her Majesty's darker.
Yep, you're right. And then I used Ruination for the bleeps.
So you're almost done.
I am. I'm done the second decrease, and I don't know, there may be like 4 more decrease rows. So I'll finish it today.
Not like it's hot weather right now, though.
I know, but
I think it's going to be 94 degrees or something crazy on either tomorrow or...
it was a challenge
Wednesday?
though, right?
Yeah, because if you finished it, then there were prizes. If you finished it and posted it, I think, today.
Right.
I think.
So I'll finish it today.
Yeah.
It may be later on this afternoon, but I will finish it
We got
today.
work to do.
What do I have to do?
We got yarn to dye.
Oh, we have got, we are knitting. We are dyeing yarn. That's what she does to me.
All right, I'll put that back over there.
Okay.
Okay, so,
I have one more finished object.
oh, okay. Oh, it's not yours, though. I thought she was going to say she did another thing.
It's not mine. It's Carissa's. So this is Swirled Piece by Lisa K. Ross.
It's really pretty.
And it is out of Little Gray Sheep.
Now, which one's dominant there? They're equal.
Nope, the dark green is dominant.
All right. Well,
How do I know that? Can you see how I know that right there and right there?
no.
If the
I
dark,
don't have to understand it.
well, let me just, if the dark green was not dominant, you would not see the skinny lines. They would recede.
So there are a few skinnier lines in the dark green than there are the light green.
So that would make the dark green dominant. These are things you got to think about and look at the chart before you start.
Okay. Well,
And
now we know.
Carissa did this, so you know it's right.
No, I know.
Not that you would doubt me.
No.
But
it's a really pretty hat.
it is a really pretty hat.
What was the pattern again?
The pattern is Swirled Piece
Okay, I gotta write all these down so I can link them all at
Okay.
the bottom.
by Lisa K. Ross.
Swirled piece. Okay.
Paper Daisy Creations.
Okay. So that yarn, what weight is it?
It's
Sport?
sport weight. You could, for color work, you could take it fingering or you could take it DK
Okay.
because it's a woolen spun. All right.
Okay, so I was thinking of something, and you don't have to implement, but I was thinking about something to do as far as like inspiration for colors for me for a dyeing yarn.
Okay.
Actually, Nicole and I were talking about it. Nicole that does mine and Mom's nails, or she does my nails when I have nails. And what I thought we could do is we'll have a hashtag called KH for Not House, KH Summer Inspiration.
Okay.
Okay? So if you have a picture of something that you think would be a good colorway, post it on Instagram with KH Summer Inspiration as the tag. And if I choose that picture to duplicate, then I will give you 2 skeins of probably sock of that color when I've dyed it up. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea.
And I will also show it on the podcast. I will, and I was thinking on my drive over here, okay, how do I contact them and notify them that I've chosen their picture while I'm dyeing it, or do I keep it a surprise?
Either way.
So I don't know. I haven't decided about that yet.
She probably will keep it as a surprise because...
I don't know. I don't do surprises well.
Well, but you're going to want the color to be finished before you
Yeah, because I got to know that I can do it.
see. It'll be a surprise.
So I'm going to pick one. If there's multiple, then maybe I'll do 2. I don't know. It also depends on how much time I have. I don't know that I'm going to do it, like all the time, but I thought we could try it and see how it worked. And so I'll tell you that I'm probably not going to let anybody else name it because I'm kind of funny about the names.
She is.
Oh, now I know what I was going to say. So, some people are inspired by nature, pictures, front doors. Me, I like to look at, pictures of living room and dining rooms for color. Sometimes, now Fine China wasn't that at all. Fine China came from a picture of a teacup. But anyway, it doesn't matter what kind of picture it is. Just shoot me the picture. Well, don't shoot it to me, but put it on Instagram. And you can tag us and also tag KH Summer Inspiration. And we'll just see how it goes. You have to be a subscriber. So yeah, so that's that. So as soon as this podcast goes up and you hear about it, then have at it.
There you go. Sounds good.
Let's see, can you submit more than one picture? I don't care. Yeah, doesn't matter to me. 2 new colors. Well, one's not really new, but this is Old Gold. Didn't turn out quite like I wanted it to. There's another gold that I'm still working to master. But this is definitely Old Gold. I think about my old cheerleading uniform.
It reminds me of my mother's curtains.
Great. Who wants a sweater knit up in something that looks like your mom's curtains?
Well,
Well, my curtains, my window treatments in the dining room are similar, but
yeah, Mom had the antique silk, you know,
yeah.
lined,
Well, that's what mine are.
pinch pleated,
Well, mine aren't pinch pleated.
you know.
Anyway, so this is Old Gold. It's a solid. It's a pretty color, nice accent color. And then this one is Sweet Mint. It's a little greener than what it's showing up in the picture there. From what I can tell, it looks a little bluer. This is a color that I had to come up with for fine china, and I decided that I might as well make it a solid so that you can put it with fine china if you wanted to. So
I think it's also in honor of our mint juleps.
it is, but I couldn't name it mint julep.
I know.
Because I looked at mint julep pictures, I Googled mint julep, and they don't look anything like this.
I know, but that was
Right.
kind of
Part of it too, yeah.
yes.
So anyway, so these two don't really go together. But that's what I got.
I also wanted to talk about that we got Chingin.
Oh, what about my ranunculus?
Well, you were talking about new yarns.
Oh, okay. All right, so we got Chingin.
God help me. And I'm spending the afternoon with her.
I've got all kinds. I can't decide whether we're cutting the grass or dyeing yarn.
I'm knitting. So this is one of the colors. It is foot. So this is a merino cashmere nylon, super soft sock, and it's 350 meters. So that's right about 399 yards, I believe. This one is Shell Beach.
I love this one.
So we got the fingering, and we also got the merino DK.
What does that say?
I can't pronounce it.
Look at that pretty blue. Is it teal? Is it blue?
It's blue. It's not teal.
It's a teal blue. Origami? I don't know. Something like that. It starts with an O. Very pretty. Very, very rich.
All of the colors are very, very rich. We've sold a good bit of them.
We have some lighter ones too.
Yes, which would be great done in a ranunculus.
This was called denim. Is that the ranunculus transition?
Yeah. Do you like the way I did that?
Yeah.
I thought you'd like that.
But we got this in DK too.
We got it in DK as well.
Did you already say that?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Now the DK that we got, are they more solids or are they still variegated like this?
There's more solids in the DK.
Okay. And they're all on the website. Have you started any knitting with this? You
No.
haven't. You don't have the time? You
No.
got to finish your sweater?
I would like to finish my sweater. I also reordered Bijou. I wish I could just say
Bitches and bunches?
Yeah, I did. I reordered it, and I got pink. The pink is in.
Oh, the pink. Okay.
Because I would really like to start the Astrid.
Oh. You're going to change your colors.
I'm just going to change it from
Because
purple.
you haven't started it.
No.
It's my fault. It's all my fault.
Um,
Okay, let's get this ranunculus out. Where did it go? Okay, so you guys heard about the ranunculus at the pop-up. And Christina from Chelsea Yarns, it's all her fault. Everybody started doing the ranunculus because she had a sample of it and it was so cute. So, I will say, not being the
focused knitter.
oh, is that what you're gonna say? Focused? Okay, that's probably a good way to put it.
I thought that was a good
It
word.
has been a little bit of a challenge. Now, that being said, it hasn't been something that I haven't been able to overcome. But maybe it's because I don't read ahead and I just start it and I just deal with whatever comes and whatever instructions say, right? But it made me feel better when Carol said that it
was a little tricky.
It's a little tricky. There's some different stitches. It's nothing hard. It's just different. And you don't know if you're doing them right or wrong. And then you have to have the right count. So it's something that I've had to continually count the stitches. So I will say that about the ranunculus. So then also, this is another thing that's funny. That's my flat needle. So last night this morning I divided for the sleeves. Last night I had to add the stitches on for the sleeves and was counting, and I was determined the pattern was wrong. Now I've had 2 glasses of wine and it's almost dark outside. I'm knitting by, backlight and candlelight. And I keep looking at how many stitches I'm supposed to have at the end of the next 4 rows.
Can we just say that you thought you were 50 stitches off earlier on?
So anyway, I kept thinking to myself, okay, who all has knit this pattern? And I'm thinking, well, Melissa from Space Tricot, she's knitted it like 4 or 5 times. Well, we all just improvise, right? The pattern is wrong. So finally last night at 11 o'clock, I go to bed. And I get up this morning and I read the pattern and it made sense. And I was like, oh, you don't do row 1 and 2. You only do row 2 6 through 9 times. So you know how when you do a pattern and you have to do 1, 2, and you repeat those 2 rows for 6, 7, 8, 9, right? It was an equal number. It was 4 rows. I thought you just did the same thing. No, you did row 2, which was the increased row, 4 times, which then would give you the right number of stitches. So the good news is when I divided for the sleeves, I stopped, I counted again, and I had the right number of stitches. So, and I had told Mom earlier that I didn't like how this looked, but it looks better on the hanger than it did all wadded up in my knitting bag.
Well, you got it on a really short cord needle too.
Well, it was working for me.
Okay.
So this is fine china in diamond sock. And Mom, do we have this? I think we do, don't we? Don't we have some fine china still in sock?
Maybe, but hold
So this
still.
is the fine china.
You've dropped a stitch.
This is the fine china. And then I used Deco mohair for it. So I've got to go 10 centimeters. Anyway, so, and you said that Carol finished hers.
Yes, and it started another
and
one.
has started another one, which I find amazing.
She has. And she's working on her Birkin at the same time.
Yeah, well, Carol has a lot of knitting time.
She does. She does.
I don't know what I want to do next. I do like the Tin Can Knits new one that came out. And then I keep thinking that there's going to be some fabulous release come out in the next few weeks. So I don't really want to cast on anything.
I do.
Well, you've got the other one you want to do.
I do.
What is it called again?
Astrid.
Astrid. Okay.
By Junko.
Have people come in and asked you about Astrid? Because didn't we talk about it on the podcast in your colors?
We've already shown it, but I was doing it in purple. Somebody told me that they had pink, that if I needed pink, they would send
it to you. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's, summer 2019 and everybody's knitting sweaters. It's the craziest thing ever.
They are.
So, we'll see all the sweaters at Rhinebeck, I'm sure.
I'm sure we will.
So, but I don't think there's anything else really for us to talk about.
Okay.
We got to get home and get all the stuff done on the list.
Yeah, right. See, when she invites me over, I know that's what I'm up for.
Well, you also cut ties on yarn.
I do. I don't mind doing that.
So again, I'll try to link everything below. Don't forget the hashtag #NotHouseSummer or just KH. Hashtag KH Summer Inspiration. shoot me a photo, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Let me also say that
where are your pearls?
I'm naked. I was naked in Sarasota too. I broke my pearls the morning that I was leaving. I had a sneezing fit, and it's just a jump ring, and I just haven't gotten it fixed.
You haven't gotten them fixed yet?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have my podcast earrings on today.
So,
yeah.
We're a little naked.
So, all right. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody that came to the pop-up. It was a great weekend, and we saw so many people. Thank you for watching the podcast.
Yes, thank you so much.
If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It means a lot, and we're almost to 3,000 followers.
We are almost.
And we'll have to have a big giveaway when we get to 3,000.
Yep, that sounds good.
Yeah, so anyway, happy Memorial Day late, because you'll see this after Memorial Day. And keep watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.